walking over now and grabbing the microphone is Gary Duncan, the coach of Southridge, and he's comfortable here today because he was right in the same spot a year ago. And Dave, you predicted, Gary Duncan, I should say, you predicted you'd be back here this year.
Well, we thought we had a good shot at it. We had some good kids, and they was all returning, and we just felt like we needed to be playing our best ball again at tournament time, and sure enough, the kids came through.
You played some very good basketball and defeated some outstanding teams.
Well, we're not playing the caliber teams probably that Marion's been playing, but we feel like we play better as the competition gets better, and we feel like we're playing the best today.
11 out of your 12 players are back here. You've also made a change at starting center.
Well, we've been starting a junior by the name of Ted O'Brien, who was our sixth man last year, had a real fine Simmons State, 27 points against Floyd Central, and right now he's playing real good ball, and we're using Andy Noss coming off the bench, who's really contributing a lot since the regional time.
Gary, you had an injury to Todd Yoakum at the beginning of the season. He missed 9 ball games, and so really he hasn't reached peak physical condition until recently.
Well, I think probably he started back January 3rd, and he was limping up till the second or third week of February before the sectional, and right now he's almost 100%. His role's changed a little bit, but he's playing just like we need him.
I watched you practice yesterday. You all had a good time. You were relaxed and very loose.
Well, I think a little bit different this year. The kids got off that cloud 9 a lot earlier in the week, about Monday, and we had Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday good practices. Had a good time yesterday and got a little exercise in, so we feel like we're ready.
The Patbergs have gained maturity. They look a shade different now. I can tell them apart, so they don't look exactly alike anymore.
Well, the only time I really had troubles in a heated discussion in the huddle, but they're playing some real fine ball for us this year.
Okay, a word about playing Marion. You played them here a year ago and were defeated.
Well, the big difference that year was that they got so many second and third shots, so we feel like we need to handle the ball a little bit better, not have so many unpressurized turnovers, and do a good job on the boards.
Well, congratulations, Gary. Have a marvelous ball game. Best wishes to you.
Thanks a lot.
Gary Duncan, the coach of Southridge, is here. And now Bill Green. Bill coaches Marion, and he has been down on this edge of the basketball floor as many times, I think, almost as I have. Not quite, Bill.
No, not quite.
Not quite. Congratulations.
Thank
Good
you.
to have you back here.
Good to be back.
You're going against a team that you defeated rather substantially a year ago. Has that made your preparations difficult?
Well, not so much difficult as we are concerned about it. They're a year older and maybe a year mentally tougher than they were last year. You know, I think the win over L&M was maybe their big ball game last year. This year, I think they really mean business, so we're going to have to play very well in order to beat them.
Bill, you went 40 consecutive games without a loss, winning the championship here a year ago, 29-0. Then you lost a ball game to Warsaw, about a third of the season in, 40 consecutive victories. Was the loss to Warsaw a blessing in disguise?
Well, Hilliard, we really don't, you know, we don't think you learn anything from losing. I think it just took the pressure off the kids. I think if this would have been next year when they were seniors, a little bit more mature, we might have got the job done. But with juniors, you know, they don't even drive cars or just starting to get their driver's license. It was just a little bit too much for them. And I think we just relaxed, and then we really came on pretty strong in February.
You had an illness to Derek Keys. You had an injury to Kyle Persinger. What about their condition today?
Keys played very, very practiced well. His sore throat is gone. Kyle's about 75%. Hopefully the enthusiasm and the crowd will make him forget it. If not, we'll come in with his brother, Eric Persinger, who is a sophomore. But I think he'll get it up and play. I know he wants to play very badly.
Well, I have to ask you this. Does the thought of becoming the first coach ever to win 5 state championships, and you're going to look forward to try to do it here in your hometown, does that come to your mind today?
Yeah, and if it does, Hilliard, you bring a towel because we're going to be crying. I won't tell you that.
Well, congratulations.
Well, you know, I would be very honored with it. But, you know, I'm going to be very happy with 4. We're just here to hope that this team could win the state. And whatever comes after that, we'll deal with it at the time.
Well, Bill, congratulations. Good luck. It's great working with you.
Thank you, Hilliard.
Bill Green, the coach of the Marion Giants. Bob Williams, the sports information director of the Indiana High School Athletic Association, has joined us on the edge of the basketball court. And Bob, it's great to see you. Congratulations on another stellar tournament. The thrills of the first game are still kind of plunging our hearts throughout the arena here today.
Well, it's pretty hard to improve on a script like that. You know, overtime, and a couple of teams that, you know, Anderson hadn't won it for a long time, and Shelbyville hadn't either, and Shelbyville's coming back for the first time, you know, in almost 40 years, you know, so everything has turned out for the best, it looks like.
Shelbyville was defeated by a point in overtime here a few minutes ago. Shelbyville's last appearance was 1947 with Bill Garrett and Emerson Johnson, and they defeated East Chicago, Washington, and also Terre Haute Garfield. And we have some film of that game, and let's dissolve to it and see if we can't talk a little bit about your impressions of that game way back in 1947.
Well, you know, I remember the championship game where Bill Garrett and Clyde Lavellette of Terre Haute had such a tremendous battle, and little Emerson Johnson from Shelbyville threw him in from mid-court, you know, for Shelbyville. And
well, we're waiting for the videotape of the film. It will be up here momentarily, and there it is. This is, of course, then Butler University Fieldhouse. It was March 22nd, 1947, and this actually is the game between Shelbyville and East Chicago, Washington. And Shelbyville won it, Bob, as you know, 54-46.
Right.
It was the afternoon game, and of course, tickets were hard in those days too.
They played a good East Chicago team, and Ray Regalis was on that team, you know, and so they did a super job getting through that afternoon game, and then they played Garfield at night. Garfield was unbeaten, you know.
That's right, with Clyde Lavellette.
He went on and played a lot of years with the Boston Celtics and everything. So
well, this was long before television, so we don't have any close-ups.
Right.
And as a matter of fact, the uniforms, all 10 players look to be about alike. But of course, Emerson Johnson and Billy Garrett played for Shelbyville that day. Johnson in the night game got 21 points and 23 points, and Garrett got 21. But I noticed in the 4 games from the semi-state, Bill Garrett had a total of 91 points, and that led everybody.
Well, he was just a great player. You know, a lot of people forget that he was only 6'3", you know, a very small center. He went on, became an All-American at IU, and just had a tremendous college career. And then later he was a state championship coach at Christmas Attucks.
And of course, he has a gym named after him now in Shelbyville.
Yeah, he was Mr. Basketball, probably maybe the first and only guy to be Mr. Basketball, play on a state championship team, and also, you know, win the state championship and then come back and coach a state championship. Right. You know, that's very unusual.
Well, Emerson Johnson, of course, really hit the eyes out that night, hitting outside shots in that game.
Well, I think that was the difference. You know, everybody knew that Garrett and Lavellette were going to get their points. Johnson comes through and gives them the scoring punch they need from the outside.
Well, Bob, we're delighted to see you. Again, congratulations on this tournament. We're going to take you away from that game. It's interesting, but a little difficult to do play-by-play at this stage. Anyway, Bob, nice to see you, and thank you for joining us.
Good to see you again, Hilliard. You did a great job.
Thank you, sir. Bob Williams, Sports Information Director of the IHSAA. And speaking of the Indiana High School Athletic Association, here's its distinguished commissioner, Gene Cato. Gene, what a tremendous ball game to open today's tournament.
Well, I was just talking to Bill and Gary back here, and I've ordered the same repeat performance. I said, we don't care who wins, but we'd like to have another one just like that.
Will you send a script over to Jerry and to Tom and me so we will be able to call it without getting a heart attack?
Well, I think we will see another, you know, outstanding state tournament, and the first game certainly got it started okay.
I talked to Dave Fraley, who won the Kentucky championship, and he says basketball is basketball, but I think he had a little surprise here with this overtime game this afternoon.
Well, he said he certainly got enthused. I had the opportunity to visit with him last evening quite some time. He has a 6'8" boy that's going to the University of Kentucky, so I think we'll find that they'll be very, very competitive.
It was unique that his son would score the winning basket in that game.
Well, as he said, let's just put the finishing touches on a great year.
Well, I'm delighted to see you looking so well, and I'm sure you're recuperating from your recent operation, but you've done so well, and I congratulate you on that. You've got a big series coming up next Saturday at Lexington with the girls and boys against Kentucky.
Well, you know, we have worked very closely with the Kentucky Association, and just like the coach today from Kentucky's here scouting, but he was very kind and brought along 2 films that he will share with the state winners tonight. And we did the same working relationship with the girls.
Well, Gene, congratulations on this event. It seems to get more powerful every year, and best wishes to you, and keep well.
Well, thank you very much, and we certainly extend an invitation for many, many people to go to Lexington next week.
Thank you, sir. Gene Cato, Commissioner of the Indiana High School Athletic Association. Here's Norm Held. Norm, congratulations. You've got to be exhausted, but what a finish. Congratulations, sir.
Believe me, I'm exhausted, Hilliard, but it was it was a great basketball game to watch from the standpoint. I thought we played an excellent first half and taking Mighty Mo by the horns, and they turned it around in the second half and twisted it in their direction, and they got that perimeter shooting going, and when that 20-footer's going in, sometimes it'll build momentum in a hurry.
Norm, your team is quicker than I would have thought.
Well, we are fairly quick, so long as we don't look at the overall picture. We've got quickness in spots. There are a couple of spots where we don't have that quickness. We try to cover it up as much as possible.
And Kelly is a genius.
Kelly's a fine athlete. He's a very good basketball player. You're going to see a better half-cock tonight than you saw today.
Well, he had a good first half, the first three-quarters. We got to wrap it up. You've got to go back to the press, and I want to congratulate you. I know you feel more relaxed than you did before the ball game. Good luck.
I will for about 10 more minutes, and it's back to the Nervousville.
Good luck.
Okay, thanks.
Norm Held. Thanks, Coach. The victorious Anderson Indians, who won it by 1 in overtime over Shelbyville. And now back to Jerry and also Tom.
Thank you, Hilliard Gates. Busy day here at Market Square Arena. Final again of the first game, 70-69. In overtime, Anderson wins it by 1. They'll play the winner of the Marion Southridge game coming up here shortly. Let's pause now 5 seconds for station identification. Your network sponsors for today's telecast are American Fletcher National Bank, Farm Bureau Insurance, and Milk Promotion Services of Indiana.
WFIE, let's all be there.
All right, again, the top scorers in that first ball game today for the Anderson Indians. 30 points out of Anthony Kelly. Had a sensational day, including 10 in the fourth period, 19 from Eric Hathcock. Norm Hill just said he thought he would play better tonight. Had a dozen points from Anthony Tucker. In the Shelbyville scoring columns, Todd Anderson had 20. Julius Denton had 21 and 12 out of Brian Harrell, who had a great comeback after that ankle injury early in the ballgame with about a minute gone in the first quarter. And the final again was 70-69. Marion and Southridge will take center stage in just a moment. Let's pause. One of your network sponsors is Farm Bureau Insurance.
I'll never forget the day we moved into our first home.
What a day.
All we really had was a watercolor that we got on our honeymoon.
Fireplace.
Well, we've lived in lots of different houses since then, but they've had one thing in common. They've all been protected by a homeowner's policy and Farm Bureau Insurance.
Over the fireplace.
Oh. Actually, they've had 2 things in common.
You've loved Holland's Chive and Onion Dips for many years. Now welcome the newest member of the Holland Dairy family. It's Holland's Festive Dip, a delicious blend of mild green peppers and red pimentos. Naturally good. It's sure to perk up your favorite recipes, and the entire family will love it. Try Holland's new Festive Dip with veggies and other snacks. It's the Festive Dip from the friendly folks at Holland Dairy.
Holland Dairy should be Holland Dairy.
Let's take a look at a couple of the key players involved with this ball game today for the Southridge Raiders. 24 and 4, the Patberg brothers, number 10 and number 20, Rick and Ron. You see Rick leads the ball club in scoring. Ron is number 2 there, and it's also the leader in the assist column. So the Patbergs, Rick and Ron, they are twins, and they are indeed the keys to whatever success the Southridge Raiders will have today. Let's go back across the floor now. Pick up the introduction of the lineups for game number 2. Here's Tom again.
Presenting the lineups for the second game of the day. Presenting the winners of the Fort Wayne Semi-State, the Marion Giants. Number 10, Kevin Spurgeon. Number 14, Robbie Morrill. Number 22, Steve Walker. Number 30, Robert Stanley. Number 42, Michael Kraft. Number 44, Scott Hunt. Number 50, Eric Persinger. Now the starting combination. The Marion Giants, number 4. At the forwards, Derek Keys, number 32. Number 12, Jay Edwards. The center, number 52, Eric Ewer. The guards, number 4, Lyndon Jones. Number 25, Kyle Persinger. And the coach of the Giants, Bill Green. For the winners of the Terre Haute Semi-State, the Southridge Raiders. Number 12, Jason Aaron. Number 22, Phil Park. 24 is Paul Peach. Number 30, Tom Barnett. Number 34, Mike Hillsmeyer. Number 42, Kelly Olinger. Number 52, Andy Noss. The starters for the Raiders. Number 32, Ron Steinhardt. Number 40, Todd Yoakum. The center, number 50, Ted O'Brien. And the guards, number 10, Rick Patberg. Number 20, Ron Patberg. And the coach of the Raiders, Gary Duncan.
The winner here gets to play Anderson for the state championship. It's Marion and Southridge. Coming up, one of your network sponsors is American Fletcher National Bank.
Opportunity only knocks once. And when it knocked at my door, I needed a loan to answer. So I looked to the bank that makes it easy to get a loan. The one that offers more lending choices than anybody. To loan me what I need in a way that's easy to handle. I look to American Fletcher.
AFNB. Get the right loan for the right reason right away.
I got the loan advantage.
You've enjoyed indescribably delicious original Holland custard ice milk for over 50 years. Now Holland's taken that great taste and put it in Holland's new French custard ice cream. Rich, creamy Holland goodness goes into every round half-gallon container of vanilla or lemon French custard ice cream. You'll want to try Holland's new French custard ice cream soon.
All a dairy should be Holland Dairy.
For the Marion Giants, Jay Edwards only today was named the UPI All-State First-Team Player. You see his numbers on your screen. He's a major factor. He leads their ball club in that scoring column, and they'll have to have a ton of work out of him today. Also the top free thrower and top rebounder for the Marion Giants.
Officials Don O'Connor of Bremen, Indiana on the right, and Jim Dunlop of Newburgh on the left.
And you check their matchups at Southbridge guard, Steinhardt and Yoakum at 19-4, Edwards and Keys at 32-1 at forwards, that is, for Marion. In the middle, Ewer at 6'5", O'Brien at 9'2". Not much difference at the guards. The Patbergs average 23-6, and Jones and Persinger 28-3. Southridge controls the opening tip. Tom will see what kind of an offense Southridge might run. I would imagine rather deliberate with the Patberg twins, the keys to the scoring.
Well, you can see the way they walk the ball across the line. They're not going to push the issue, checking the defense. Marion, a great ball club to play a matchup zone. Bill Green's done a terrific job over the years in developing that concept.
That's what they're doing right now.
To the point that he has college coaches who come to him and talk to him about the way they operated at the high school level. He is one of the most respected high school coaches in the country.
I know he hasn't been terribly pleased with the way they've defended the area, let's say from 10 feet within the basket area, but they've made some improvements, obviously, as the season has gone along. And Southridge content right now to play on the outside and not to force the issue at all here early.
It was interesting. Gary Duncan said that his gang at Southridge wanted to play Marion. If you got to play them, let's play them now. They feel comfortable against them. They say they know their personnel, and they have not the fear of Market Square Arena that they had last year when they were just happy to be here. Now, he says they want to win it. 10 is Rick Patberg. 20 is Ron Patberg. Steinhardt is 32. Yoakum is 40, and Ted O'Brien is number 50. O'Brien is their big guy at 6'5", a junior, posted low right down along the paint and being guarded down there by Eric Ewer. We've played a minute and a half, and there hasn't even been anything that resembles an attempt to take a shot tossed up there yet.
Well, it's a situation where obviously Southridge is determined that if we get into a ball game where things are not handled very carefully as far as possession of the ball is concerned, we could be in real trouble. But Coach Gary Duncan wants to give his kids an opportunity to be in a position to win, obviously. A long way from the end of the contest, but they're going to try and dictate the tempo of the contest.
First time the ball has been down to the baseline so far in this game, and they very quickly get it back outside. Now they come back out to Ron Patberg, near side to Rick. And the rebound pulled up inside by O'Brien. Had it blocked to the top of the board. Rebound taken down by Southridge. Back up, and it won't go this time for Steinhardt. And a whistle and a foul. Rick Patberg looked at the approach that Southridge is going to take against Marion in this title.
Last year's experience was more of a, Marion intimidated us a little and helped, to get the atmosphere of, Market Square Arena. And it should help this year. We won't come in timid, face Marion, and we'll just take it to them. And so last year, we were a little timid not to take it to them.
Southridge played 2 minutes and 16 seconds before they finally got a shot away. And right at the other end, the first shot is good, and that is Derek Keys. There was some concern about Derek Keys coming into the ball game today. You heard Bill Green talk about it. He's had strep throat since Monday, but I think, did Bill not say, Hillier, that he's over that down the throat as well?
He had 2 very good practices.
So that should not be a factor. Again, the Patbergs playing pitch and catch out back. 5:10 to play here in the first period. Very, very deliberate. And Marion setting up in a zone defense will stay right there at him.
Yeah, Marion coming down might have been a little insignificant hitting the first basket, but I don't think it was. When you're on top, regardless of what the tempo is, you still have things that have to come to you rather than you being the one that has to force the mistake.
Much more comfortable with a 2-point lead rather than a tie or a deficit to try to make up. The tempo of the game doesn't bother you quite as much. 4 minutes and 35 seconds to play so far in this ball game.
We may get a lot of commercials in here.
You can run them while the game is going the way it's going right now. Good strong rebound by Eric Ewer. They really like the way this Ewer plays ball at Marion.
Well, that's his role, is rebounding.
And a foul just prior to Marion getting it to the timeline. And the foul is on number 40. That'll be Todd Yoakum, number 1 on Todd.
Todd had a nice offensive tip that last series down, and ball didn't fall in for him. And then when the rebound was taken by the Giants, Yoakum committed the foul.
We haven't had a chance to see much of the Marion offense yet. We're halfway through the first period. They've only had the ball. This is the second time.
There's a lot of it right there.
Yes, sir. Lyndon Jones, he averages 19-2. And that's not tops of the club. Jay Edwards is tops of scoring with 24-7, but it's 2 shots and 2 scores, and it's 4-0 now. Marion out in front. And that is not, I can assure you, the way Gary Duncan wanted this ball game to start. If he was going to run the slowdown offense, I can assure you he wanted to score each time he had the basketball. I'm not sure how many shots Southridge has taken so far. 5. They're 0 for 5.
Well, they have about 2 offensive rebounds, but unable to capitalize on either one of those.
Nice move to the hoop, and the strongest move to the hoop so far by Southridge out of Todd Yoakum. First couple of points for Todd, who averages right at 9 points a ball game.
Kyle Persinger injured his ankle on Wednesday night. Yesterday, he seemed to be okay.
Those are the only 2 real injuries they were concerned about when they got a chance to practice here at Market Square Arena. And a foul called against Marion on Kyle Persinger. That is the first on Kyle and the first against the ball club.
Southridge appears to have a pretty good idea of the scheme of what they want to do offensively, as indicated by the way they broke Yoakum loose last time, and also defensively they appear to be in pretty good position to handle the situation that Marion's presenting them with. But Marion, of course, with some superior size, got a couple of baskets on their first 2 attempts.
Gary Duncan said that the expectations were really high in the Huntingburg area this year. After last year's performance, they won this ball club to be back here again and really thought they had a chance, and they thought so all year long.
Well, when you're here with a junior ball club, your expectations are going to be very difficult to reach, because most people think you should be back here the next time and hopefully win it. Well, Marion's playing with a junior ball club this year.
Exactly.
All 5
right.
starters were juniors.
Well, they flashed Steinhardt in the middle that time, but couldn't get the ball to him. Rick Patberg Taking the brother Ron. 2.5 minutes to play in the first quarter, and it's a 4-2 basketball game. We thought the first game was low scoring, and it was till the finally got warmed up, but this is in slow motion right now. You could hear the movement, hear the squeaking of the shoes on the floor. Ron Patberg back to Rick. Now we're at the 2-minute mark at the first quarter. It is Marion 4, Southridge 2. Southridge obviously in the game plan that Gary Duncan put together, and that's what they're going to stay in until situation deems otherwise. Minute 45 to play, first quarter.
Well, we've seen some ball games over the years in the state tournament very similar to this type of approach.
Rebounded by Jay Edwards. The Giants are 2 out of 2. And Lyndon Jones has his second bucket.
It really doesn't make a whole lot of difference how long you hold the ball. If they're not going to miss it at the other end,
right,
the result turns out to be the same.
And I noticed that Marion doesn't get caught up in the slowdown offense. When they get the basketball, Tom, they've got their own little mode of operation, and that's what they go into.
Of course, Lyndon Jones just had a fabulous week.
He had
Fort
67
Wayne,
points last week.
67 points in 2 ball games. Demonstrated thus far he has a tremendous touch and can get the shot away with a very nice release.
Southridge, 1972 consolidation of Huntingburg and Holland High Schools located in Huntingburg. Finalists last year. State runner-up in football, Class A in '82, losing to Oak Hill that year, 14-7. So they have had their share of notoriety. Final 42 seconds now of the first quarter. It's been a very unique and not the kind of a ball game that I expected at all, Tom. Although if you think about it, it makes sense.
Well, I think it's one of the situations that even the coach, Gary Duncan, has indicated. Last year, they were here, and that was a great goal realized, right, I suppose. And this year, they want to try to win, and he's determined this is their best chance to win a ball game. They're not just going to play for fun.
Rick Patberg dishes off right side. O'Brien had it knocked free, and here comes Patberg again with 8 seconds to play in the quarter. Here is Rick, deflected. Near side to Steinhardt. Air ball, but a foul. It'll be on Derek Keys, number 1 on him. 2 against the club. But Steinhardt fouled in the act of shooting. And Bill Green's taking a small nap over there on the side. You wonder, Hilliard, you didn't ask him about this. There's no reason to. You wonder if maybe he anticipated this kind of play.
I did not ask him, and I did not think they would play this way. To be honest with you, I was not sure that they would do it.
I'm a little surprised that they're holding the ball quite this long, Tom. But again, I don't think you can get this Marion ball club without being prejudiced either way is an outstanding ball club. If you let them set the tempo of the game, let them play they want to play, you're going to have a terrible time staying up with them. So Steinhardt misses the first one, hits the second one, and the buzzer sounds, and that's the end of the first. No, we got 2 seconds left here. Took a timeout. All right, timeout taken with 2 seconds to go. It is 6-2 the score with Marion out in front. We'll take a break. One of your network sponsors, Milk Promotion Services of Indiana.
Milk's got the kick that gives you more. Health kick. More nutrition in every form. Health kick. I'm moving to the rhythm of a brand new day, 'cause the vitamins in milk help me on my way. Kick. So get on a health kick, let it pour. America's favorite health kick. Get on a health kick, milk's got more. Have more milk, 'cause milk's got more.
The following Du Bois County merchants are proud to bring you today's basketball finals. First National Bank, Huntingburg and Ferdinand. Think of us first. Citizens Insurance, Huntingburg and Jasper. Beeler's IGA of Huntingburg. Ruxer, Ford, Lincoln, Mercury, Jasper. Fine cars and heavy-duty Ford trucks. Du Bois Elevator, Du Bois. We buy number 2 yellow shell corn. Best Western Dutchman Inn, Huntingburg. Executive Furniture, Huntingburg. Manufacturers of quality office furniture. Roy Cox Oil Company, Huntingburg, and your local Shell dealers.
Well, Marion certainly has made the most of their opportunities.
3 for
About
3.
the best thing you can say concerning those field goal statistics. With 2 seconds to go in the quarter, you see Andy Noss, big 6'9" senior for Southridge in 1 second.
At the top of the board and off the mark. So now we've completed the first quarter, and it is 6-3. the score. Marion Giants out in front in an extremely low-scoring, very slowly played first 8 minutes. Marion leads it by that score of 6-3. Now we'll take a break at the end of the quarter. One of your network sponsors is Farm Bureau Insurance.
Hey, excuse me? Got a minute?
No, not really. I just got home from work.
Oh.
Yeah, I got a house to clean, dinner to cook, and 2 kids to take to piano lessons.
You sound like a very busy person.
I am.
I hope you've got a few minutes to talk to your Farm Bureau insurance agent about life insurance. Everybody needs it, including you.
Look, I really don't have the time. Besides, nothing ever happens to me.
Hey, no piano lesson.
Wilmus Windows manufactures 100% all-vinyl custom-fit replacement windows. Precision cut overlapping joints eliminate air leaks and give added strength. Look how much stronger it is than the old-style miter joint. Other features include double weather stripping, wraparound vinyl glazing channel, double seal insulated glass, and tilt-in sash for easy cleaning. Look into affordable Wilmus Windows, made right here in the tri-state.
The best of luck to the Southridge Raiders from the folks at Wilmus Windows.
Last year when these two ball clubs met in the afternoon, it was an easy Marion win over the Southridge Raiders. We asked Jay Edwards his thought on this year's meeting.
I feel that we have, as long as we go out there and play our game, pass the ball, and play good defense, that we have a good chance of winning. My role is probably put some offensive output into the game and play good defense and get some boards.
Lyndon Jones now with a half a dozen points, and Marion continues to shoot extremely well. They are 4 for 4, and it's an 8-3 basketball game.
Hey, really nothing to deter Jones from taking the ball all the way to the hoop that time. And he did just that.
Ron Patberg ganged up onto the corner. Andy Noss is in the ball game. That is Rick Patberg, not a run. 30 seconds into the second period. 6-3 was the score at the end of one. Very deliberate ball game being played by the Raiders of Southridge High School.
At practice yesterday, Rick Patberg had on red basketball shoes. The other one had white. And I said, "Are you going to wear red?" And he said, "Not on your life. You're going to have to try to separate us."
If they changed numbers, I would be totally lost. I'll assure you of that, because they do look identical.
I think Ron is just a shade bigger.
Nice little head fake in the middle of that time by Joachim, but they came up dry again. Marion on the run, and a foul called on the floor is 40. That is Todd Joachim, and that is 2 on Todd.
Marion trying to get him the ball out here quickly on the break. You see Lyndon Jones with it. He's going to pass back to the left side, but in the meantime, Joachim had leaned the body into Jones, picking up team foul number 3 for Southridge, and Joachim's second.
The inbounded pass long to Lyndon Jones. Here is Jay Edwards. Jones again.
Southridge is playing a man-to-man defense.
Edwards, they finally missed, but the rebound came down to Kyle Persinger, and he didn't. Persinger's first 2 points. He's a 9.1 per game scorer, and it's 10-3. Marion out in front by 7. Southridge shooting percentages have been horrendous so far, with 1 field goal from Todd Joachim.
Well, I think it's fairly typical in the early parts of ball games, unless you get some exceptional shots. Percentage is going to slowly build up throughout the contest. This is an entirely different perspective, shooting into crowds, etc., for both clubs. But I think we're going to see a tick up.
Well, it can't get much worse. That's Ron. Got his own rebound. And a whistle and a walking violation called on Ron Patberg. I think the Patbergs, Tom, it's that old thing, you dance with who brung you, and Rick and Ron have carried the scoring load, and they're going to have to simply get those 15-foot shots and take them until they hit them. Well, they're going to be in trouble. And they're already in trouble right now, because Marion, the transition game for the Giants has just been phenomenal. And they're hitting like gangbusters. Lyndon Jones now with 8, and the lead goes to 12-3.
Now, we may be watching a player right there who may turn out to be one of the real fine shooters we've seen the last several years of high school basketball, Lyndon Jones.
Rebounded by Jones. On the outlet pass, here is Jay Edwards. Slam jam. Edwards now with 2. And we'll take a timeout because Southridge right now is not even in the ball game. It is 14-3 with 5:11 to play in the first half. Marion out in front. One of your network sponsors is American Fletcher National Bank.
I opened my IRA for the tax break, but now I want more. I'll only get it from a bank, and one that knows how much I need my nest egg. One that offers me a choice of IRA options to help me grow strong and pays high interest that goes even higher as my IRA takes off. I'll only get it from American Fletcher.
AFNB, smarter IRAs for smarter people.
I transferred for the IRA Advantage.
You've loved Holland's chive and onion dips for many years. Now welcome the newest member of the Holland Dairy family. It's Holland's Festive Dip, a delicious blend of mild green peppers and red pimentos. Naturally good. It's sure to perk up your favorite recipes, and the entire family will love it. Try Holland's new Festive Dip with veggies and other snacks. It's the Festive Dip from the friendly folks at Holland Dairy.
Holland Dairy should be Holland Dairy.
Well, you could tell by viewing the contest thus far that Southridge is having a difficult time, and there you see how difficult it has been. They've had a dozen opportunities, and Todd Yoakum got the only one to fall through while Marion continues to be red hot from the field.
The 11-point lead at 14-3 is the biggest of the ball game. Southridge has never led. The game has not been tied. The Southridge Ball Club came out in this very deliberate offense in which they are still in. They missed their first 5 shots, and each time they missed, Marion went down and turned the ball well and got scores at the other end. And now it's just a matter of one shot, this time by Ron Patberg. Here comes Marion again. They lost the handle but maintained control. Thrown in the middle to Andy Noss. And a whistle and a foul. It'll be on Southridge. And off the bottom of the floor here at MSA is Ted O'Brien with number 1.
Well, you're going to see Persinger here get the pass, and he's going to drill a ball inside intended for Ewer. That was going to be hard for anyone to handle. Here it comes. And in the melee for the ball, O'Brien is whistled for the foul.
Jay Edwards is fouled again, and he'll go to the line. And Andy Noss appears to be the guilty party for the Southridge Raiders. Up at his 32, Ron Steinhardt.
Southridge set up their offense at the other end of the floor in much tighter this last time, and I doubt if they're going to stand out in midcourt anymore.
Well, they don't have much choice at the point in the game when you're down by 11 and you're still trying to win. You're going to have to take some shots at the hoop.
Edwards, 82% free throw shooter, tops in the ball club. Jay Lasker with a 15.3 per game, 7 rebound per game average. Average is up to 24-7 and 8.5 rebounds. In the Giants, purple and gold this year. He has 4 points. And the lead goes to 16-3. Those 3 points came in the first quarter. A field goal by Todd Yoakum and 1 out of 2 free throw attempts by Ron Steinhardt. Deflected away by Lyndon Jones. Picked back up, though, by Ron Patberg, and a walking violation called against the Southridge Raiders.
Well, Noss got the ball inside, and he's 6'9". Didn't go up with it. Came back down, took a little hop in there, and was detected for the walking violation. Not much going right at the offensive end for the Raiders.
There are the turnovers. Rebound lost away, and they say last touch by Derek Keys. Now we'll get a substitution for Southridge. Number 40, Todd Yoakum, coming back into the lineup, and 32, Ron Steinhardt. Going out, there is Yoakum, 2 points, couple of personal fouls. One of the starters at forward.
Steinhardt a year ago really had a pretty good afternoon against the Giants. Seemed to be one of the real smooth performers in that contest. Did a good job inside off the board.
Eric Ewer just ripped that rebound out of there. Here's Jay Edwards. Edwards was 6. They've all come to the second period. After being shut out in the first 8 minutes, it is 18-3. I don't know if Southridge has another gear in their offense, Tom, but if they don't kick it into that gear pretty soon, then it's going to be too late. Here is Ron Patberg. Yes, finally got it to fall. Ron getting his first 2 points. He averages 11-6. Rick averages 12 per game and is the top scorer on the ball club. He has not scored as of yet. First 2 points for Ron Patberg. 18-5 is the score. Kyle Persinger's second bucket. 4 points for Kyle. Starting guard, 6'4" junior.
Great assist from Lyndon Jones.
Well, it's an indication of what you do when you can get the ball inside the defense and they have to come to you. And Jones knew what to do with it when Persinger was open on the baseline.
2:45 to play, first half.
Whoa. We got Ewer really in pain on the floor.
Ewer went down and one of his own men tripped over him. Now here's the outlet pass. Lead to Lyndon Jones. Jones leaves it near side to Keys and a walking violation. We got a giant hurt. It is 52 Eric Ewer, 6'6" junior at the other end of the floor. There he is. And he went down and has been down for the last 15 or 20 seconds because the rebound was ripped out of there. And the man from Marion actually tripped over Ewer, who was down. I'm not sure what part of his body is hurting him right now, Tom.
Well, it looks like it's his right leg or the right hip, I think.
Earlier we spoke with Eric Ewer, who's now lying in pain on the floor, about his role in today's game.
Well, Mr. Green has tried to emphasize to me all year long that my role is to rebound and play defense, and that's what I'm going to try and do in the game.
Well, they'll take him out to the locker room area. Let's see if we can pick it up again here.
There he is, moving into the middle, and he leaves his feet, comes down, went to the floor right there. I don't even, couldn't really tell anything by that as far as how he might have been injured, but certainly he was in pain. His replacement, by the way, is number 42, Mike Kraft.
6'4" senior, averaging just over 2 points per ball game. Down to the final 2:15 here in the first half, and it's 20-5.
Kraft played quite a bit last week in the center state.
Reinhardt. Here's a foul away from the ball, I believe, on Jay Edwards. And that'll be the first on Jay.
Edwards trying to step up and get into a position to cut off a passing lane that time. And the official thought that his contact was a little excessive. Picked up foul number 1 on him.
That's a third against the Marion Giants as a ball club. Now we're at the 2-minute mark of the first half. The winner here will play Anderson for the state championship tonight. Eric Ewer. Or I beg your pardon, Nass had a foul right at the timeline again. And it is on Rick Patberg. First on Rick. We'll look at it one more time. 5th foul against the team.
Well, Noss couldn't get the ball to fall. Kraft comes down, and Lyndon Jones, after receiving the pass, turns and foul on Rick Patberg, sending Lyndon to the free throw line.
Lyndon Jones, UPI All-State second team, as it was announced today. He missed 7 games earlier on this year and missed that free throw. Missed those 7 games with a small crack in the bone of the leg. Lost 3 of those 7 games while he was out. Should have said Ewer, not Jones.
Well, they still have trouble putting that ball in the basket at the other end, and the shots are not all that bad. There have been a few they've had to force, but nothing wrong with the shooting at the opposite end of the floor. Jones again has his 5th field goal.
Well, he has 10 points, averaging 19-2.
He had 23 against Southridge here last year.
It is a 22-5 basketball game now. Missed shot that time by Ron Patberg, and a foul, and Patberg comes up a little limpy outside.
Fakes and gets number 32 Keys off the ground, and then he tries to take it inside. Had to lean away from the defender, and Persinger, however, did get him on the arm, and it's going to send number 20 Ron to the line. This Ron Patberg to shoot 2.
This is an intelligent team that Gary Duncan has. Ron carries a great point average of 3.478 on a scale of 4. He's an honorable mention. Academic All-State player is selected by the Indiana Basketball Coaches Association. There are a number of them on this squad. So they're a smart group of young men. Substitution now for Marion, Steve Walker. 5'10" sophomore coming in to replace Kyle Persinger, who goes out with 4 points.
He picks up the speed a little bit of the Marion team.
22-6.
Well, they're going to a half-court 1-3-1 right here, trying to trap the basketball. I'm not sure they're going to be quick enough, however, to effectively get the ball in a corner and trap that ball handler.
They don't keep records like this, but I imagine the 6 points would be a record low for a first half by one team.
We'd have to go back a lot of years, Hilliard, I'm afraid, if we're going to be
1911.
Lyndon Jones has 10 points, leading scorer in the ball club. He talked about how that affects his game.
I feel that I'm scoring pretty good right now. My shot's feeling good, and so I'm just shooting the ball, and it's going in, and I'm feeling pretty good about it.
He is the top scorer so far today with a total of 10. We're down to the final 12 seconds. And the ball is deflected out of bounds. Marion led 6-3 at the end of the first quarter. Now it is 22-6. So Southridge has scored a whopping 3 points in each of the first 2 quarters. Here is Jones. And the rebound pulled off by Todd Yoakum. Taken away, though, and saved by Andy Noss. That's it. That is the end of a very strange first half of basketball. Anderson won over Shelbyville in overtime in a wild affair. Final score there was 70-69. So the Indians will head toward the hotel and await tonight's championship game. And right now it has been all Marion for the rights to go into that championship game against the Indians of Anderson. At halftime, they have a lead at 22-6. And Tom, you have to wonder now at halftime what sort of changes. Can't imagine what Bill Green's going to say. He doesn't have a chance to know yet if his offense or defense really working, except they're shooting well. And now Gary Duncan's got a ton of work to do at halftime with this Southridge ball club.
Well, I don't think we're going to see too much different offensive situations from Southridge. He's going to tell his ball players that our shots just aren't falling, which is pretty obvious. But if we start hitting some of those, we can get back into it. Defense is where they have their problem. They haven't shown, even if they're able to execute an offense, but they can keep Marion from getting to the offensive end and putting the ball in the hoop.
Well, if you just walked into the living room, there's no mistake on your screen. That is indeed the halftime score. Marion leads it by 22-6. One of your network sponsors, Milk Promotion Services of Indiana.
Milk got the kick that gives you more. Health kick. More nutrition in every pour. Health kick. I'm watching my weight and milk fits right in, 'cause it's loaded with calcium and vitamins. Kick. So get on a Health Kick, let it pour. America's favorite Health Kick. Get on a Health Kick, milk's got more. Have more milk, 'cause milk's got more.
We found an increase in yield for the Lasso atrazine plot, and we were really surprised.
John Neidlinger will be using more pre-mixed Lasso and atrazine in the future.
It opens up our eyes and gives us opportunities for us to cut our production costs.
Lasso or pre-mixed Lasso and atrazine. Less stress, more yield.
I guess my philosophy is that the easiest way to cut our production costs is actually to increase our yield.
The following Du Bois County merchants are proud to bring you today's basketball finals. First National Bank, Huntingburg and Ferdinand. Think of us first. Citizens Insurance, Huntingburg and Jasper. Beeler's IGA of Huntingburg. Ruxer, Ford, Lincoln, Mercury, Jasper. Fine cars and heavy-duty Ford trucks. Du Bois Elevator, Du Bois. We buy number 2 yellow shell corn. Best Western Dutchman Inn, Huntingburg. Executive Furniture, Huntingburg. Manufacturers of quality office furniture. Roy Cox Oil Company, Huntingburg, and your local Shell dealers.
One of the most unusual state championship Final Four games of all time. The Marion Giants lead Southridge by a 22-6 score at halftime. The scoring won't take long. Jay Edwards with 6, Derek Keys 2, Lyndon Jones with 10, Kyle Persinger with 4. That's a total of 22 for the Giants, who led 6-3 at the end of the first quarter and 22-6 at halftime. Southwood Raiders have 1 point by Ron Steinhardt, 2 by Todd Yoakum. That was a field goal in the first quarter, their only one, and 1 field goal and a free throw in the second period by Ron Patberg for a total of 3 points. So the score at halftime, the Giants 22, Southridge 6. In a sensational game earlier this afternoon in overtime, Anderson defeated Shelbyville by a 70-69 score. We'll be back talking to Earl Cunningham, the excellent coach of the Michigan City Rogers Raiders, in just a moment. Right now, one of your network sponsors is Farm Bureau Insurance.
My dad's a great guy. He's entertaining. And he's got a terrific sense of humor. Mom says he takes care of me in ways I don't even know about.
Life insurance from your Farm Bureau insurance agent. Another way to show how much you care.
You've enjoyed indescribably delicious original Holland custard ice milk for over 50 years. Now Holland's taken that great taste and put it in Holland's new French custard ice cream. Rich, creamy Holland goodness goes into every round half-gallon container of vanilla or lemon French custard ice cream. You'll want to try Holland's new French custard ice cream soon.
All a dairy should be Holland Dairy.
Save $1,000 just by saying you saw this ad on television. That's right, save $1,000 now at Central Satellite on Uniden 7000 and put advanced TV performance at your fingertips. Uniden's top-of-the-line system features wireless remote and automatic antenna, all for $15.95 installed with 60 months bank financing and no money down. That's right, 60 months bank financing and no money down. Hurry to Central Satellite and say you saw this ad on television and save $1,000. This offer will not be repeated. Central Satellite of Jasper, where satellites are our only business.
Back at Market Square Arena, Indianapolis, joining us down on the floor is the excellent coach of Michigan City Rogers. Earl Cunningham had his team ranked number 3 at the end of the regular season, got to the Fort Wayne semi-state, and lost a hectic ball game to Marion in the championship game by a point in the final 3 seconds. Earl, still congratulations on a great season.
Thank you very much, Hillier. We appreciate your support and tremendous job you've done throughout the years.
Thank you. Let's talk a little bit about the Marion Giant game here with Southridge. Were you surprised that Southridge would not take the ball to Marion early in the game?
No, I really was not overly surprised, although I think the tempo is even too slow for Southridge at this point. They've now dug themselves into a hole where they have to come out and shoot the ball very quickly to catch up. And I just think Coach Duncan learned a year ago that he didn't have the horses to go up down the floor with Marion. I think he had to make a decision of, you know, the only chance they had to win was what they came out. They just didn't hit their shots early, and Marion plays a lot better defense than people give them credit for. You know, they anticipate where the passes are going, and they're going to force you to take some bad shots.
What about the injury to Eric Ewer? Is that going to hurt Marion?
It definitely will hurt them this evening against Anderson. They basically played 5 players throughout the season, and they pretty much stick with that starting 5, so I think that will have an effect if they go against Anderson this evening.
Anderson surprised you this afternoon?
Anderson has some fine athletes, and Norm Held's been here so many times, he knows how to get it done.
Earl, you brought a team to the Fort Wayne semi-state 3 consecutive years and got to the championship game 3 consecutive years. You've had great talent and outstanding coaching, yet the ball just doesn't bounce right for you at Fort Wayne.
Well, first of all, give credit to Doug Adams. Last year filled in for us during the teacher's strike, and you have to give him credit for that second one. But, you know, we're just very happy. We come through a very difficult sectional and regional to get to Fort Wayne, and we're very happy to be there. We keep losing to this eventual state champion. We really think that that's very possible that will happen again this year.
Earl, congratulations on another great year. Looking forward to seeing the tournament again next year and possibly back in Fort Wayne at the semi-state.
Thank you again, Hilliard.
Nice to see you. Earl Cunningham, the coach of Michigan City Rogers. We'll be back at Market Square Arena with more halftime comments and statistics. But right now, one of your network sponsors is American Fletcher National Bank. Thank you.
When we found our first home, we wanted in the worst way. And now that we're moving up, we want to do it in the best way.
So we went where they're aggressively looking to write mortgages.
Where they put mortgage program variety and financing ease above all.
Yeah, and where the loan officers helped us glide over the usual hassles.
We went to American Fletcher.
American Fletcher. More mortgages for more people.
We're moving up.
With the mortgage advantage.
The following Du Bois County merchants are proud to bring you today's basketball finals. Holland National Bank, Holland, Huntingburg, Birdseye, and Ferdinand. Ubalor and Son Motor Company, Chevy Olds Cadillac, Jasper. Gus Turner Sports, 706 Main, Jasper. Farm Bureau Insurance, Huntingburg, Jasper, for all your insurance needs. Far Best Foods of Huntingburg and their area turkey growers. Bob Leaguer's Motors, Buick, Pontiac, and GMC Trucks, Jasper. Ubalor Oil Company, Unicol 76 and Mobile Distributor, Huntingburg. Mel Bowling's Pools and Spas, Jasper. Swimming is good, clean fun.
Some interesting numbers, Tom Hessian. Southridge has taken more shots than Marion. I guess if I think back about that, that's not that far out of line, but their shooting is just horrible.
Well, you can see why you're behind, regardless of who the teams might be or what the score might be, without knowing it ahead of time. When you look at a statistic like 2 of 21, you know it's real trouble. Rebounds, Marion leading in that category. Not much action from the free throw line. And of course, the turnovers have been held to a minimum because of the tempo of the basketball game for the most part. So it's a Marion lock on the thing at halftime, which could change. But right now, I don't think there's anybody in the building here that thinks it's very likely that Southridge is going to be able to dig themselves out of this one.
All right, both ball clubs are back. I want to take a moment. Bob DeLong was supposed to work our telecast today in our WTTV Channel 4 crew. He couldn't make it for a pretty good reason. Bob and his wife Sandy became the proud parents of a baby boy, Peyton Ross, at 3:37 this morning, 8 pounds, 1/2 ounce, 21 inches long. Already has Peyton Ross out trying to take him inside and see if he can post up somebody. Bob and Sandy, we congratulate you. Halftime score again is 22-6. It is Marion over Southridge for the right to play Anderson for the state championship tonight. We'll return in a moment. One of your network sponsors is Milk Promotion Services of Indiana.
Milk got the kick that gives you more. Health kick. More nutrition in every pour. Health kick. I'm moving to the rhythm of a brand new day, 'cause the vitamins in milk help me on my way. Kick. So get all the health kick, let it pour. America's favorite health kick. Get all the health kick, milk's got more. Have more milk, 'cause milk's got more.
For generation upon generation, Holland Dairy has been satisfying your cravings for the creamy, smooth sweetness of ice cream. The great quality and taste of Holland ice cream is something your family has come to depend on. It's the perfect treat any time of the year. Tonight, treat your family to a scoop of your favorite Holland ice cream. Enjoy naturally good Holland French custard ice cream in round half gallons, as well as your other favorite Holland flavors.
Holland Dairy should be Holland Dairy.
Todd Yoakum, number 40 for Southridge, 6'2" senior, has but 2 points at halftime. His average is 8.8. But Todd has been a struggle all year long because earlier in the season, well, in fact, he missed 9 games. He broke his leg in football. He is almost 100%. It's been a real struggle to recover from that football injury.
Well, my leg's a lot better, and, you know, I had to rehabilitate for a long time, but it's 100% now. And when I came back, I probably wasn't ready to play. So I just had to accept that and work real hard and accept the role in my team now.
At halftime, 22-6 the score. Lyndon Jones is the top scorer for the Marion Giants. He has a total of 10 points. The only player anywhere near double figures is Lyndon Jones. Last year averaged 14.5 points and 4.8 rebounds. This year the numbers are up to 19-2 scoring-wise. The rebounds have done a little bit to 3.7 for Lyndon Jones. And he had a great game against Michigan City Rogers in the semi-state championship, 31 there, then 36 against Northrop in the afternoon, hitting 16 out of 25 from the field. Bill Green said that's about as great a performance that a junior in high school can have, and he's having a pretty good performance here today, despite the fact that the entire tempo of the game has been slowed down. Tom, you think that'll continue in the second half?
Well, no, they don't have any choice now. They're going to have to come out and try and get some shots. They're down enough now that to slow down is nothing but try to keep from getting the score look worse on the board. So they have to go out and try to win.
And they get the first shot of the second half, and it's missed in there by Ron Patberg and rebounded by Marion. And the Giants love to run. They get it up court in a hurry. That is Jay Edwards. Edwards now with 8 points. Jay, a 6'4" junior, leads the club in scoring at almost 25 points a game, 24-7. The lead goes to 18. They zipped it down inside to Ted O'Brien, and O'Brien had it knocked away. Southridge offense early on in the second half much more crisp than in the first half of play.
Still no word on Eric Ewer as to the extent of his injury. Obviously, they can let him sit right now. They're not in any danger.
Nice goal by Rick Patberg on the baseline. Their leading scorer has his first 2 points of the ball game 40 seconds into the second half.
Goes on to a trapping defense.
Nice steal this time by Yoakum. Todd still has it in backcourt and wisely will give the ball to one of the guards. Rick Patberg in a hurry to run on the near side. Well, that Southridge crowd hasn't given up. They're still yelling like crazy and standing in that section at the end of the arena where Southridge is working right now.
Well, they just can't seem to get the basket to handle that shot. So they're getting not too bad a distance and everything else, Jerry, but it just won't go in.
Here is Keys. Won't go, and a foul is called. A blocking foul against Southridge. And they will help number 32, Ron Steinhardt, off the deck after picking up personal foul number 2.
Well, there's Lyndon Johnson giving the ball off inside to Keys. Keys goes toward the basket down the lane, and Steinhardt right in there, and call goes to Marion. It's Derek Keys.
Eric Ewer.
Here comes Ewer back.
Derek Keys goes to the free throw line. He's been ill for a few days. How's he feeling today?
Well, I felt bad the last couple of days, but now I feel all right. Right now, I feel that I'll be able to go 100%.
Derek Keys, according to Bill Green, is about a year away. In fact, he's really kind of underage to be the junior that he is. And great jumper, good rebounder, and they're expecting him to improve even more over the upcoming summer months.
Well, he's got a nice touch. You can tell his hand behind the ball very well and good rotation on the basketball. He's got some potential to turn into a very fine front court man.
Only a 53% free throw shooter, but last week he hit 7 out of 8.
Yeah, he's got a nice touch.
1 out of 2 from the line of this ball game. 25 to 8 is the score. Rebounded by Jay Edwards and intercepted up court and over and back, they say, by Ron Patberg.
Well, you have to have your feet on the floor in the court in which you catch the basketball, and he was over the timeline, had left the backcourt, came down with the ball on the other side. One of those unavoidable things if you're going to make the play at all.
25-8 is the score. Lyndon Jones handles the ball for the Marion Giants. Preseason right number 1. That's the way they began the season. Good move by Lyndon Jones. And then when they lost a couple of ball games, they fell down to the number 2 spot. And Bill Smith's quadruple Rockets moved into number 1 and held it for the rest of the season. Andy Noss, missing the first one, gets the second one. Andy's first 2 points of the game. He averages just a shade over 5. 27 to 10. Now 29 to 10.
Derek Keys.
Keys was very effective taking that ball to the basket. He made a good aggressive move, got it off the board nicely, and picked up his 5th point.
Well, we saw a tremendous comeback in the first ball game with Shelbyville down by 15 points in the 3rd period to come back to tie and then lose in overtime, 70-69 to Anderson. And we'll see what kind of comeback abilities this Southridge ball club has, because they're going to need them now. They're down by 19. Jump ball, arrow pointing toward Marion, so the Giants will have it. That is Ron Patberg climbing off the deck at Market Square Arena.
Southridge may be trying to get too good a shot right now. I think Patberg had the shot along the baseline early, took it to the defender, got it partially blocked, and nothing went right after that.
Ron Patberg will go out of the lineup with 3 points on a field goal and a free throw in the 2nd period. Here's a steal by Yoakum. Well, Yoakum has Rick Patberg at the guard spot with him. Inside 5 minutes, 3rd period. Rick Patberg. Make it Ron. No, it is Rick.
Yeah, Rick took what was given to him that time rather than to try and challenge the defender.
Jones with a shot that was not particularly good. He was out of control when he went to the hoop that time. I suppose there's a danger, Tom, when you're up 29-12. I don't care how well organized your ball club is. There's a danger of your players getting out of their sequence.
Right, you're not very intense in what you do sometimes.
There's a foul as they drop the ball inside to Andy Noss, and the foul is against Marion.
One of the things that I think Coach Gary Duncan wants his Raiders to do is to get the ball high inside to their 6'9" performer, Alan Noss, as you see here. He hasn't had much success getting the ball to drop for him, but he certainly is able to get it away in pretty good fashion underneath. His father was a pretty good basketball player at Huntingburg High School and maybe an Indiana All-Star.
We were talking about the Patbergs, Ron and Rick. We asked Ron to compare his play with that of his brother Rick.
When I go out to play, I really don't play like Rick. I play for myself, and it just happens that me and Rick always play the same. I guess it's being twins. We've been playing together since 3rd grade. And it's just a weird feeling playing with him because we do a lot of things the same way.
At the free throw line, Andy Naas. Now with 3.
Full court press, but not quite quick enough feet to keep Marion from getting it down.
Gary Keys having a 7-point performance. 5 of those have come. 5 of the 9 that Marion has scored here in the 3rd period. Foul is on. You heard number 12, Jay Edwards. That'll be 2 on Jay. Marion Ball Club 24-3 beat the Southridge Club 76-52 in the afternoon session last year. And Southridge came out early in this ball game and dug themselves a giant-sized hole. There's the Marion Giants bench. Love those trousers, by the way.
Well, they again lob it inside to Naas, and he's not a very quick jumper, and when he had to come back down, Jones really wasn't prepared for what was going to happen and committed the foul.
Bill Green coaching Marion, assisted by Mel Wysong of Marion College, who's the varsity assistant. He talked to Mel the other day. He says, well, the season's over. I'll get some of my baseball players back. He coached that Marion team to a state championship in '84, and he's got 3 or 4 players on this basketball squad. And Ray Sims out of Marion College also coaches the JV. If we get a shot of them on the bench, that's Gary Duncan of Southridge. They've got some beautiful pants on with the letters M all over them. Nice attire. 2 more misses for Naas. And Southridge remains in control of the basketball. Steinhardt, double team, lost it and got it back. Oh, all by himself was Naas just for a split second. Inside 4 minutes, halfway through the 3rd period. 31-13 Marion.
Marion doing a good job defensively, and Southridge having a difficult time, even when they have Naas in there at 6'9".
Steinhardt rebounded, missed the shot. We'll try it again, and a whistle and a foul from behind on Mike Kraft.
Steinhardt a real battler inside. He and Yoakum both are fighting the boards hard. Steinhardt only 6'3" and Yoakum 6'2", so they have some height disadvantage, but they went strong to the board that time, and Steinhardt's going to go to the strike.
Well, we talked to Rick Patberg just moments ago. How about some comments from Ron Steinhardt? He had some thoughts on playing Marion.
We played the way we're supposed to play today, smart, and take the decent shots, and I think our chances are okay.
At the free throw line, Steinhardt, 76% shooter, leading the ball club in that statistic. Is now 2 out of 3 on the day, and that's his 2nd point. The only other came on that free throw back in the 1st period. Yoakum will go out briefly, and Rick Patberg returns to the lineup. Steinhardt with a pair. Juan now with 3 points, 31-15. Lead cut to 16. It has been as high as 19. Good block inside. Apparently some body contact made by Ted O'Brien. Second one on Ted. Here comes again.
Well, you're going to see the ball go right inside. Looked like Jones was going to take it up to the board, but he left it off with Keys. And O'Brien came across the lane and whacked him pretty good on the arm. Here's another view of it. Nice pass from Jones. And you see O'Brien committing the foul.
Gary Keys doesn't mind going inside and playing in there because he's got good leaping ability. In fact, he holds the Marion school record in the high jump at 6'8".
They were talking about his free throw shooting a while ago. He has a nice touch and everything, but he didn't follow through at all on that last shot.
Rebounded by Southridge. Andy Naas came out of there with it. Rick Patberg back in the lineup with brother Ron. 3 minutes and 20 seconds to play in the 3rd period. 31-15 Marion. Rebounded by the Giants. Good outlet pass. Here comes Lyndon Jones. Oh, he missed the step shot. Is there anything more embarrassing in a ball game to an individual player than what's going to happen right here?
Well, we see it happen quite often. High school play, even at the college and professional level.
Absolutely. Jones came back up court with a little bit of a smile on his face, but he was not a happy man, I'll assure you of that.
Bill Green had a little smile and kind of shook his head.
Bill Green calls this defense pizza pie, a little of everything, but really it's a matchup zone.
Nice shot by Ron Petberg. Ron with 5. And believe it or not, that makes him the high point man of the ball club right now. Lyndon Jones trying to make amends for missing the stuff shot the previous time up. Now has 14. He is the top gunner for the Giants of Marion.
Probably about as low a scoring ball game as Edwards has had in quite some time.
Reach and foul on Derek Keys. That'll be 2 on Derek.
All right, Keys commits the foul. You see the pass going down low. Fake in there by O'Brien. He has to shoot it up from an awkward position. Fortunately for him, he was fouled, and he's going to get an opportunity.
Substitutions now for the Southridge Raiders. 34, Mike Hillsmeyer, 6'3" senior, makes his first appearance.
Looks like Ron Patberg. I thought that was Ted O'Brien down low. I think that's what's going to happen. They questioning who the shooter was. It looked like O'Brien very definitely, number 50. And
that's 52. Andy Nasser bringing back on the floor now. And they are sending Todd Yoakum.
Well, let's take another look at that replay.
I'm not sure it was Noss either.
No, I think it was O'Brien.
Well, it'll be Andy Noss going up there. He's 1 for 4. That's the reason they didn't want the Patberg gang going to the free throw line. 2 minutes and 15 seconds remain in the third period. It's been all Marion since they tipped the game off. Posting inside low, Mike Pratt, only 6'4". But they got the ball to him, and he muscled his way up for his first 2 points.
That's a real danger when you let a man get a possession and you're on his backside down that low. That's almost 2 points are an obvious foul.
35-17. Rebounded by Noss. And this time snared out of there by Marion. Lyndon Jones could give Marion its biggest lead and does. Lyndon now with 16, and the lead goes to 20.
Imagine we're going to see an opportunity for Bill Green to use quite a bit of his bench in this final period.
Air ball. Kraft. Lead pass to Jay Edwards, and that stuff goes home. 10 points for Jay, and it's a 22-point lead.
He can tell Lyndon Jones that's the way you do it.
1 minute and 15 seconds to play here in the third period. Ron Patberg, 7 points.
Now Ron got another one on the steal. Laid it back up. Good move.
And another steal almost by brother Rick. Down to the final 55 seconds of the third period. Jay Edwards on the dribble. Cross-court pass to Keys, and now back out to Lyndon Jones at the point guard spot. You saw Lyndon grab a quick look at the scoreboard. It's difficult to read where he was. In fact, almost impossible here at Market Square Arena. There are boards in the alleyways that you can catch a look at and catch the time. Foul on Patberg. That's number 1 on him.
Noss goes out, and they're going to have O'Brien. And Ron looks like he has a little mouse under the eye where he's caught one earlier in the ball game.
Timeout has been taken with 31 seconds to play in the third period. 39-21. Marion leads Southridge. One of your network sponsors, Farm Bureau Insurance.
I've always been able to tell the stage my husband's going through by the kind of car he drives. First, it was the anti-establishment phase. Then, the family man. Next, climbing the corporate ladder. Lots of different cars, lots of different lifestyles. But every car we've owned has been protected by Farm Bureau Insurance.
Hey, baby, what do you think?
I think they call this the midlife crisis.
You've loved Holland's chive and onion dips for many years. Now welcome the newest member of the Holland Dairy family. It's Holland's Festive Dip, a delicious blend of mild green peppers and red pimentos. Naturally good. It's sure to perk up your favorite recipes, and the entire family will love it. Try Holland's new Festive Dip with veggies and other snacks. It's the Festive Dip from the friendly folks at Holland Dairy.
Holland Dairy should be Holland Dairy.
For the Marion Giants, number 25 Kyle Persinger has 4 points in the ball game. Sprained an ankle on Thursday.
Oh, I injured it in practice on Thursday and came the wrong way, and I taped up real hard now, and hopefully it'll be all right for today's games.
So far, so good for Kyle. 6'4" junior, averaging 9.1. He has 4 points. Came with a couple of field goals back in the second period. Southridge dug themselves a gigantic hole early in the contest. They are still there. In fact, it's at 18 points right now at 39-21. Final 25 seconds of the third period. They brought Jay Edwards, who is a starting forward. They brought him out to a guard spot right now.
There are the shooting statistics here in the second half thus far. Southridge has picked up somewhat. Marion continuing to be very strong in their field goal percentage.
Now we're down to 7 seconds in the third period. And a steal. And a steal the other way. Here is Lyndon Jones. And it's intercepted. And that's the end of 3 straight quarters of basketball. After 3, 39-21. Marion leads Southridge. 8 more minutes to decide the winner that'll go against Anderson tonight. One of your network sponsors is American Fletcher National Bank.
I know my business. And when that business needs a loan, I need a bank with a strong business profile. One that knows it sometimes takes money to spread your wings. And where I can rely on not just one business specialist, but a whole flock of them. I need American Fletcher.
AFNB, the money, the attitude, the team for corporate lending.
I took the business advantage.
Save $1,000 just by saying you saw this ad on television. That's right. Save $1,000 now at Central Satellite on Uniden 7000 and put advanced TV performance at your fingertips. Uniden's top-of-the-line system features wireless remote and automatic antenna, all for $15.95 installed with 60 months bank financing and no money down. That's right, 60 months bank financing and no money down. Hurry to Central Satellite and say you saw this ad on television and save $1,000. This offer will not be repeated. Central Satellite of Jasper, where satellites are our only business.
The Patbergs are indeed twins, Rick and Ron, 10 and 20, and we asked Ron if playing with his twin brother Rick was like watching a videotape of his own play.
No, not really, except for last week when we played at Memorial. Rick was driving the ball because he's usually the section. I'm the driver, and he was driving the ball into the hole, and I thought it was him doing it. I go, hey, that's Rick doing that stuff. I couldn't believe it. Because I usually call him a wimp because he usually doesn't take the ball to the hole. He just stands out 3-point line and shoots bombs away.
Their numbers are amazingly similar. Lyndon Jones off of the near side to Steve Walker. And the rebound comes down to Southridge. The Raiders have a long way to go and not much time to get there.
Here are the up-to-date stats after 3 quarters. O'Brien stayed with that one.
First 2 points of the ball game for Ted O'Brien, 6'5", junior starting center.
Goes Patberg in. That's Ron Patberg, and one tap no good by O'Brien, so he comes back, going to try it again, and I think it's like Kraft got him.
And if you look very carefully at Ted O'Brien, number 50, look at his shoulder. He's got paint on it, and there are some other paints on the back of the paint marks on the back of some of the other players out there. It's come off the floor here at Market Square Arena, so don't worry about it. It is really warm in here. They're talking about temperatures near 80 degrees in Indianapolis today. 7.5 minutes to play in this basketball game. 39-24, Marion. They've never trailed. Game has never been tied. Southridge has never led.
Marion averages 74 points a game.
And they'll not get there today, Hill. You're through no fault of their own. Southridge has played this type offense, and does not let the other team score very many points either. Lyndon Jones, 6'3", junior. Got a senior in the starting lineup on this ball club. Jones gets hammered.
Yeah, he's coming up very slowly. A few plays like that, I think, might convince Bill Green maybe I better get another performer in here. He has Walker in right now and Kraft in, normally not in the starting lineup.
Third personal foul on Todd Yoakum, who will lead the ball game and will be rejoined by Andy Noss. And here comes Lyndon Jones again. 24 points against Huntington North in the regional championship game that just ripped people apart in the semi-state. Was 67 points. He is becoming, according to head coach Bill Green, one of the premier point guards, not just in the state, but in the country. And you can't really argue those numbers with him today. 17 points. Out of bounds to Marion. Hilliard mentioned the offensive stats. Marion averaging 73.5 points per ball game. There are the turnovers. Not very many turnovers because the pace of the play has been so slow on many occasions that there just haven't been that many opportunities to turn the ball over. A couple of tries by Edwards. Finally, Kraft comes out with it.
A frustrating attempt. Jay Edwards really going hard, trying to get it back up there. Never could really get his hands on it securely.
Kyle Persinger, 6 points. First couple of points in the second half for Kyle. 6 minutes and 20 seconds to play. Marion with a 42-24 lead. They've had the lead as high as 22. Mike Kraft, number 3.
And Noss took that pass, not really in a very good position to do much with it. Not much bend in his legs. Let's watch it here. There's the pass. Noss standing right there and turned into the defender and drew the foul. Luckily, the ball wasn't stolen from him as Todd Yoakum re-enters for Southridge, replacing O'Brien.
Talking about the grade point averages of these young men, Andy Noss has a 3.414. Honorable mention academic All-State with the Indiana Basketball Coaches Association. He's an active young man, runs track at Southridge. He's also an Eagle Scout. He has 3 points. He is now 1 out of 6, now 2 out of 7 from the free throw stripe. 6:11 to play in this ball game. 42-25. Anderson won the first ball game in overtime over Shelbyville, 70-69. So the Indians are resting now, and they await their next shot at a state title. Something that has eluded Norm Hill to this point. Nice reverse layup by Todd Yoakum. Yoakum's first field goal since the first period. And a push on the inbounds play, fouled against Southridge.
It's going to be Yoakum's 4th, I believe. Right. Well, you can't fault Southridge for any lack of effort, regardless of what the scoreboard may show. They've been playing very hard here in this final period.
Tom, Marion tries to hurry the ball down the floor. They're trying a little bit too quickly. Now, I think when you don't get into a game momentum or tempo, it's hard to find it.
Well, it's difficult to find, and when you're playing with the issue already decided, it makes a little difference in the approach, too.
Kyle Persinger, 7 points.
Kyle's father, principal at Marion High School, was a great athletic star in his own right.
Rebounded by Southridge. Southridge won the Southridge Holiday Tournament this year. Then they hosted the Hall of Fame Tournament at Southridge, beating Floyd Central by 10 and losing by 10 to Muncie Central, their biggest loss of the year. Who's won it? Who wants it? Who's got it?
Tough thing to grab,
potato, boy.
And Noss right up there, but boy, he has a difficult time getting the ball to go in.
No slam dunk this time. Kyle Persinger really picks up his 9th point. 45-27.
There, Noss got one off the offensive board. His 2nd field goal. He has 6 points now.
Marion in a hurry to get back up court. 5 minutes to play in this ball game.
Persinger tried to give the ball off on the break. Nobody could handle it, however, and it turns it over to Southridge. There's Bill Green sitting and very relaxed.
He played down when Hilliard asked him, and as he has played down all week long, what winning a 5th state championship would mean. It would put him in very exclusive territory. In fact, he'd be very lonesome there because he'd be the only one who's ever won 5 state titles. He has played it down, very wisely so. And a foul on Southridge on Ron Steinhardt. 3rd one on Ron. I thought he will take a look at it again and catch the foul on the inbound play.
Steinhardt caught the arm there. Looks like a Persinger.
He made a good point, Hilliard. You talked with him about the pressure that had been on these young men all year long. Especially when that 40-game winning streak was on the line. Oh, you can't lose. You can't lose. That's tough when a for the youngsters.
Well, what kind of pressure do you think they're going to face locally next season?
Precisely right.
The ball club back that has gone, we think right now, probably to the final game. Some of them will have been here 2 years. All returners.
11 points for Kyle Persinger. I would love to be sitting in the room with Norm Held right now and hear what he's having to say scouting-wise about how you're going to beat this Marion Giants ball club. They played earlier in the season, of course, and Marion won it. Marion was 7-0, won the North Central Conference. The basket will count, and the foul will be called against Marion. It'll be Jay Edwards with number 3. And we'll look at it one more time.
Boy, real tenacity by Yoakum here, who takes the pass from Rick Patberg, goes down the baseline. He had Kraft in front of him, went up, shot it over. Here we see another angle. Gets around Edwards, shoots it up over Kraft, and Edwards from behind picks up the foul.
Southridge hitting 5 of 13 in this period, so the shooting is picked up a little bit. Early in the game, they were shooting in single digits percentage-wise, and really got themselves so deeply buried that they've just been an uphill struggle all the rest of the ball game. Jay Edwards, he has 12, averaging 24-7, so he has not scored up to his average, but Lyndon Jones has played well. Kyle Persinger has come on strong. O'Brien, 5 points, all coming in the fourth quarter, down to the final 4 minutes of this basketball game, with Marion out in front 49-36. Ball deflected away. Rick Patberg goes to get it, and they knock it out of bounds.
Yeah, good effort. The crowd appreciates it.
They get a standing ovation as they drag number 10, Rick Patberg, out from beneath the press table to here. That's a good shot into the Southridge cheering section. All 4 of these schools had a lottery of some sort to get those tickets distributed.
Yeah, there's the ball deflected down court, coming right at you there. There's the twins, 10 and 20, Rick and Ron.
Good ball movement. They seem to know where each other is located on the basketball floor. 3:40 to play in the game. Ball by O'Brien. Third one on O'Brien. Lyndon Jones having some kind of an effort today. Lyndon's come up with 17 points. We asked him his thoughts on this game plan today.
Well, it's going to take us to come out here and play hard the whole game, start in the first quarter, play hard and rebound and get the ball out on the fast break. Well, I'm just going to go out and do whatever that makes the team run and go out and try to win.
Timeout has been taken. 3:39 to play. It's a 13-point lead now. Marion over Southridge. One of your network sponsors, Milk Promotion Services of Indiana.
Milk's got the kick that gives you more. Health kick. More nutrition in every pore. Health kick. I'm watching my weight and milk fits right in, 'cause it's loaded with calcium and vitamins. Kick. So get on a health kick and let it pour. America's favorite health kick. Get on a health kick. Milk's got more. Have more milk, 'cause milk's got more.
For generation upon generation, Holland Dairy has been satisfying your cravings for the creamy, smooth sweetness of ice cream. The great quality and taste of Holland ice cream is something your family has come to depend on. It's the perfect treat any time of the year. Tonight, treat your family to a scoop of your favorite Holland ice cream. Enjoy naturally good Holland French custard ice cream in round half gallons, as well as your other favorite Holland flavors.
The dairy should be Holland Dairy.
Young man looks familiar. I guess he should, Hilliard. Steve Alford, Indiana University, who played a little basketball on the Market Square Arena floor a few years back.
Well, and his former team this year had a good season. Newcastle had a good year.
Final 3:39 of what has been a ball game that saw Marion jump in front early on, and then just continue to build the lead until he got to 22.
I'm really surprised that Edwards and Jones have logged as many minutes, Jerry, as they have with the game being the way it has been.
Well, in the first quarter, they didn't have to play much.
A lot of standing around in that quarter, that's for sure. But like Tom suggested, the last thing you want to see is one of your players getting hurt in a mad scramble. We've had plenty of them. There's one right here. And Bill Green is studying that scoreboard very carefully. Tom, I'm sure that what you suggest is going through his mind.
First of all, I think one of the things he probably is thinking is they haven't had to play terribly hard, as Hildred has indicated. Plus, the more familiar you get with the shooting backgrounds and things like that, why, it may be a factor later. We'll have to say he does know how to win state tournaments.
Yeah. Who are we to question what's
right.
going on out there now?
Right.
You got that right. 3:20 to play, fourth period, 51-36. Marion leading Southridge.
I think he'd also like to win the Indiana State Amateur Golf Tournament.
I think his chances are better here.
He and Norm Hill were having a kind of a friendly little argument the other day at the meeting we had, and Norm wanted to settle it on the golf course, he said. That'd be a heck of a match, wouldn't it?
Yeah, let's broadcast that, Jerry.
Yeah, we can buy time on that one.
Yeah, put mics on.
Edwards. 16 for Jay.
Bill's going to make his move now. He's going to take some of these boys out.
Bingo, baseline, Steinhardt, 5 points, first field goal in the ball game for Ron.
That was by Steinhardt.
And here's Kraft now with 4. Now we'll get a substitution for both sides. Get a couple of shakes here. 2:15 to play. Ron got it. 11 now for Ron Patberg. So he's pretty much at his norm. Rick has scored only 4 points on a couple of field goals in the third quarter. Jones is fouled by Todd Yoakum. That's 5 on Yoakum. And he will foul out with 9 points, 7 of which came in the fourth period.
Well, Todd Yoakum ends a fine basketball career at Southridge. Todd, a real hustler, the one that Jerry referred to earlier, had suffered the broken leg in the football season. He goes out. He's a 6'2 senior, averaged under 10 coming into today's ball game, and was right about there, 9, and he's averaging 8.8.
Hillsmeyer coming in. Andy Noss is in now for Southridge. And Lyndon Jones at the next dead ball will go out of the lineup. His substitute waiting across the floor.
Jay Edwards has gone to the bench, and Eric Persinger, brother of Kyle, is now in the lineup.
20 points for Lyndon Jones. Now the substitution will come into the ball game, and it'll be number 10, Kevin Spurgeon. He is a 5'9 senior, averaging 3.3. Now number 14, Robbie Morrell, 5'8 junior, will come into the ball game for Marion. And the final 2 minutes of the basketball game start ticking off.
They're looking at the Patbergs. We've had some twins that have played pretty well in this tournament. 25 years ago, a fine pair.
There's one of the twins, Ron Patberg. There are those who would suggest, Tom, that Rick and Ron might be good candidates for co-winners of the Trester Award this year, which will be announced tonight after the championship game. Ron Steinhardt, 7 points, second bucket this period. 1:34 to play in the game. Timeout. Southridge, they're down 59-44. One of your network sponsors, Farm Bureau Insurance.
How did you get way out here?
That baby will go anywhere.
Got it insured?
Got Farm Bureau auto insurance.
Good. Now how about life insurance?
I can take care of myself.
Okay, but life insurance is a good way to protect your family.
Wait, do you hear something?
I don't hear anything.
Farm Bureau for auto insurance, Farm Bureau for life insurance. The same agent handles both.
Well, it could have been bears.
The executive producer of our telecaster today was Michael Davis, and a cast of thousands. Senior producer Bob Caldwell in attendance along with us, working hard. Producer director Dean McDowell, busy man today. Mark Emmons is our unit manager. Peggy McClellan handled the studio coordinating events today, and she kept herself busy. Mike Pope, our technical director. And the guys and the gals on the cameras today. I guess all guys today, huh? Eric and Joe and Brad. Audio, Fred Lawrence. And the video engineers, the guys who do all the pregame work, get very little of the credit. Rick Patberg.
Foul's going to be on Morrell.
First one on Robbie.
And Southridge makes another change, getting all their players an opportunity to get in this state tournament. Number 30 is in the ball game now, Tom Barnett. Talking about twins in the finals, we had in 73 and 74 the McLaughlin twins from Franklin.
Tom and Dick Van Arsdale brought into the Hall of Fame on Thursday night.
Yeah, we mentioned 25 years ago they were